How you going, people? Well, I bought myself a little treat. So this is the Rossi 357. Very nice rifle. I like it. I've heard the Henry is better. This is going for retail. MSRP is $849, and I talked about it on my live, and somebody said, hey, I saw it for $750 somewhere. So I went and checked, and I found it on Gunbroker for $740. And so I looked at Gunbroker on where it was being sold, and it was being sold out of Texas, at a place about 45 minutes to an hour away. So I called them, they had it for $740, plus they gave me a military discount, which brought it down to $680, and then they gave me a free cleaning kit. Where's that free cleaning kit? I must have left it downstairs. So I end up getting out the door for $800, 2 boxes of ammo, a box of 357, a box of 38 special, and a nice cleaning kit. And so I really couldn't pass this up. So I just kind of wanted to go over a few things that I like and don't like. Usually when I get a lever action or something that moves, I like to work the action. So I have worked this action. I stopped counting after 3,500 times. So what I did is I just sat and I had it downstairs when I got it, put some oil on it, wiped it down, and then I would sit there and I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I would get 50 at a time. Then I'd do another 50, maybe I'd switch and I'd do 50 this way. And what I'm doing is you can kind of see here where there's some wear right here. And because of that wear is where it's rubbing metal and metal. There's also wear on the bolt that keeps going back and forth every time I do this. And there's the 2 locking nuts right here that lock the bolt into place and unlock it so it can come back. Actually, these are the same parts. These are little long locking lugs that climb into here. But when I first got this and I racked it a few times, it was really stiff. And at about 2,000 times, I noticed it softened up. And now, it's much nicer than it was when I got it. There's still this lockup, which needs to be pretty secure on this last little part. But on breaking it open for the second round, I want it to be a little bit looser. And because I've done it over 3,000 times, it's very, much more effective. And there's no way I could do this with one finger before. And that's just called what's natural. I mean, sometimes, remember we talked about when you get guns, sometimes you have to go look at the gun or work the gun for 5,000 times. I'm looking for my little flashlight here so you can see down the barrel. It actually freaking worked. And we'll see if you can see down the barrel. So I can't tell if you guys can see or not. I ran a patch down it. I didn't put a brush down it. I don't know how many rounds they fired through it. I haven't put any rounds through it. I wanted to work on the action. I'm not a fan of this little safety right here. They put this little idiot safety here that I don't like safeties because they actually are locked on. It already has a couple of safeties. It's got one as a half cock safety. So when you just rack it a little bit, you'll hear a click. Hear that first click? That put it on half cock, so I can't pull the trigger now. So if I wanted to carry around in the chamber, and then all I had to do was shoot the gun is cock like that, and I could pull the trigger and fire the gun. That way I wouldn't have to work the action. Maybe scare something away or make noise. So I could do this, put a round in the chamber, let the hammer down to the half cock position, and now it will not fire, and it won't make the grinder off. And then when I need to shoot it, all I have to do is cock it, and now it's ready to shoot. So it's already got that safety on there. What do I need another safety for? So I'm going to take that off. I'll do a video on me removing that. I've done a little bit of research. There's not like good video on there, out there on how to remove this. There's a little spring and a little ball bearing in there. So what I have to do is, there's a little pin, you can see a little pin right here that holds this in. So I need to knock that pin out. I'll be able to remove this. There's a little ball bearing spring. I can cut off and ground off the side and then ground off this top part, these two little pieces here. Or there used to be a couple places that sells a round ball that you just pull this out and you replace it. And if I can order one of those, I'll probably just order one of those, take this out and replace it with a kind of like fake cover. So I'm not a fan of a safety. These rails inside here where this bolt goes back and forth, it's already got some natural smoothing from this. I put a little flitz. Some people will put toothpaste in there. I just put some of this flitz. It's kind of like a polishing screen. And I rubbed it in there as I was working the slide 100, 200, 300 times. And so it was actually grinding against itself. And then, not to take off too much damage, I took this 4/0 steel wool and I went ahead and opened up my action and just kind of rubbed it around in there, kind of worked these little rails right here, made them a little polished up, and took off any rough edges. And that really smoothed down the action. You know, I mean, for me to shoot 4,000, because I'm pretty sure I'm past 4,000 now. Like I said, I stopped counting at 3,500. But I've cleaned it and done this, and you can tell right now I'm still getting a little black, like oil and stuff right up here in front from putting oil in there and working it back and forth to where it's grinding stuff out and it's removing little fragments of stuff. So, nice gun. Like I said, I haven't fired it yet. I've got some rounds in here. This loading port right here has a really strong spring. I mean, this is just really hard to load. So I'm not a fan of that. So for loading this, you would put this round in here, you push this down, and then you just kind of like shove it in there. And right here it'll stick, so I can take a second round, and then if I want to load it, it'll hold 10 rounds. Then I shove that one in, and then that'll stay. And then if I want to put another round in, that'll stay. Put another round in. That'll stay. So you can do that. I just got 5 of these rounds here, been sitting around, 38 special. And then on that last one, I really got to kind of like push it in with my finger to get the trap door to shut. So hopefully I'll be able to get on here. And then this will pop shut once it gets in there. And then of course, as I open a gate, it'll pop that round in there. And then as I close the gate, it'll load it into the breaching port. And then once that's done, of course it's cocked, it's ready to fire. I could drop this, or I'm going to eject them this way so I don't lose them. So you can see them fly out. And now I know that it's empty. Looking down the barrel, it's got a little, I don't know if you can see, it's got a little green follower where the bullets go. So if you can see that green part down in there, you know it's like right up here. I don't know if you can see the green in there. I can't see it on the screen because the lights are like right in my face. So now I know it's empty. I usually, when I'm clearing these, you just give it a few. You know there's nothing in it. You can leave the action open when you set it down, close it, drop the hammer. If you want to fire it, you can lock it and squeeze it, fire it that way to make sure it's empty. Of course, pointing in a safe direction, all that other safety Sally BS that I assume most people know. I'm not here trying to make you a safe gun handler. I'm here trying to just show you things that I do. So I put some oil on this wood. I like the wood is kind of like a, I don't know if it's a walnut or a cherry. I think the wood looks really nice. Like I said, I put some different oil on it. It's got a nice little butt plate on it. So I'm debating on whether I'm going to pull this off and put some sort of, I really like this tung oil. It dries nice and hard. It puts a good coating on something. So I like this. I just don't know how it's going to go over this finish. But I would like to put some tung oil, take off the wood and put some tung oil on it. And I might test that out. But I just kind of wanted to go over a few things. Again, anytime I get any type of lever action, bolt action, I'm always working it. I want it nice and loose. I want any rough edges to be smoothed out. This is what I call on my horse channel. When horses walk through the pasture, the grass actually polishes their hooves. So when you trim a horse's foot, sometimes it looks rust because you're using a rasp and a file. And then as they walk through the pasture in a day or so, it's just as smooth as can be. Because as every step they take, the grass and weeds and stuff just polish it. And that's basically what I'm doing here. I'm naturally polishing the slide in any moving parts. I don't have to take it apart and polish each part. This is just naturally. If there's any parts that are wearing that shouldn't be there, it's going to wear off and file it down. And it's going to get smoother and smoother over time. So your older lever actions are even lighter than this. I mean, this one's pretty light. I'm pretty good with it right now. But again, I don't know if I've done over 100 or... I know, like I said, I stopped counting at 3 or 3,500. And then I know I've done several hundred after that. So I'm pretty sure I'm over 4,000 action processes here. And I don't know how many I've done just in this video. But the more you do it, the better, the smoother the action is going to get. So, and I can actually smell the heating up and like friction when I do it a good 100 times straight. Like right now, I'm actually smelling almost like a little bit of burnt or heat that is being built up. Could be heating up the oil, but it's actually putting off a smell right now because, and I don't know if it heats it up. I don't feel any heat. It's not heating enough to where I feel it, but I can actually smell it. And so anyway, I really like this. Is a 357 to 38, so it'll shoot the 38. It'll shoot 38 plus P, or it'll shoot the more powerful 357. Because it has a 20-inch barrel, I'm getting much higher velocities. So on an AR-15, you lose 75 feet per second for every inch you take off a 21-inch barrel. So a 21-inch barrel is what the 5.56, the M4, the M16, 223, 5.56, whatever you want to call it. It was designed for a 21-inch barrel, and it usually got 3,200 feet per second with a 21-inch barrel. Most people don't have 21-inch barrels no more on those, so they're shorter. And every inch you remove, you lose 75 feet per second velocity. So when you have a pistol that's normally a 357 round out of a 4 or 6 inch pistol, and then you add, you know, another 14 inches, you're trapping all that explosives and pressure, and you're pushing the bullet faster and longer with the explosion. Normally at a 6-inch barrel, the bullet's out, and then all the unburned powder and all the explosion kind of just dissipates in the noise, and the bullet starts slowing down as soon as it leaves the barrel. Now with a 20-inch barrel, I'm pushing that 357 all the way out, so that's going to increase my velocity, and which makes this rifle a really nice, formidable weapon. A 357 round is a nice little round. You put a 357 in a longer inch barrel, and you get that higher velocities. Really good round. And this is usually a saddle gun. It's pretty short. It's easy to maneuver. You can pull it out quick. If you need to get it in action, you can. It's called, some people call it a bush gun or a close-end gun. Just really, I really like these. Like I said, I have a lever action in 22. I think I have it in 22 mag. I have it in the 30 round. And I think that might be it. I have a Winchester that's blued, that's kind of rough, that I used to carry on my saddle. This is a little bit better saddle gun, I think, because it's stainless steel. Yes, stainless steel will rust, but it's a little bit harder to rust. And you can neglect it a little bit more before it rusts. So I really like the stainless steel model with this nice, I call it like a cherry wood. When I saw this gun, man, I was just like, man, that is a sweet little lever action. So I got another gun that I don't freaking need, which is probably I'm gonna clean it up, and it's gonna sit around, and I'll take it out every once in a while to clean it and admire it from the craftsmanship and the way it works. And you know, once I get finished modifying and get rid of that safety, I'm probably gonna pull the bolt out and just do a little bit of polishing on this rail and inside the rail here like I do, and that'll smooth it up even more than it is now. And so that'll be my other project. And if I get enough response in the comments that they want me to make a video, I will. Otherwise, I'll just pull the bolt out and take it apart and do some little polishing to make it smoother than it already is. So, hope you enjoyed the little thing. Now that I'm behind it, I can kind of zoom in and give you a little bit better closer up of this gun. Did a really nice job. I undid this little nut right there, and I pulled this stock down, and I cleaned. Because see, if you don't, most people don't clean when you're back here. They don't remove this, and this magazine tube and the barrel goes all the way back, so it never gets cleaned in between here. So I took this, unscrewed this, and I slid this forward and put a nice coat of oil on both these tubes because I didn't want them rusted. I'm sure it was cleaned by the factory, but I don't know if they were sloppy or put a fingerprint on it. So I took a patch and I got it in between here, and I worked it on both sides of this all the way up here and clean this interior. Then I slid the wood back on. And if I take this off to work on the wood, of course that will change also. But pretty nice little rifle there. Not a real big fan on the serial number, the way they do it, but whatever. So that is the Rossi. I think it's called a 92. That's what the old Winchester was, the 92 lever action. And this is the 357-38. I think it comes in a 44, 45, and I don't know what other calibers. But the 849, you know, I'm glad my viewers told me, hey, they got it cheaper, and I looked. And that place I got it at, really great place. They have an online store. You can order online. Really happy with them. It's called Gitter. G-R-I-T-R. And with that, I'll answer my phone. We'll end it there.